Got a couple of breaking news items for you early on a Wednesday morning. Hi, I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and this is Texans Today. We're going to be breaking down the Tytus Howard injury news and the latest release by the Houston Texans. A little bit of a surprising one, in my opinion. But before we get started and I break it all down, this right here, this is why you subscribe. We just passed 7,000 subscribers on the channel, so I appreciate every single one of you who hit that sub button. But moments like this, breaking news, we break it down as soon as it happens here on Texans Today. So if you love the Texans, if you want daily Texan news and rumors videos, why not subscribe? It's 100% free. If you don't like it, unsubscribe in a week. It's all good. Give me a shot to earn your subscription. Go down and hit that sub button or go to youtube.com/TexansTV. Now, the first item on the docket today, Shaquill Griffin, released from the team today, was starting until Derek Stingley Jr. came back from injury throughout this season. He was signed in the offseason, formerly played with the Jaguars and the Seahawks. So now the 7-year veteran will now hit the waiver wire. It's unclear whether or not the Texans will re-sign Griffin if he does clear waivers. So basically, there's a 24-hour period that any team in the NFL can claim Shaquill Griffin. And if nobody claims him, then he just becomes a free agent and he can sign with whatever team. But the Texans, obviously, they feel a little bit comfortable with their cornerback depth chart now that Derek Stingley Jr. is back. Him and Steven Nelson are a pretty decent 1-2 punch, if you ask me, at the cornerback position. Tavier Thomas has been starting in that nickelback spot, even though kind of got burned a little bit against Jacksonville. And, you know, we have Kadar Hollman, D'Angelo Ross, and the re-signed Desmond King, who the Texans released offseason, who had a big play right before the half. He is now, in my opinion, going to be that backup nickelback spot. But I ask you folks at home, what do you think? Was cutting Griffin a good move by the Houston Texans? Give me a yes, give me a no in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. It's going to be at the very top of the comment section. So if YouTube throws in an ad break right here, go down and answer today's pinned question. Was cutting Shaq Griffin a good move? I think DeMeco Ryans and his staff really like what they have in Desmond King and Kadar Hollman and the backup cornerback position that they have. And with Griffin starting this year for the Texans, they were bottom 3 in the league in completion percentage allowed. So in my opinion, I think DeMeco Ryans and his staff, they really loved what they had in Desmond King, and they loved that energy that he brought to the team, that awesome play that he had at the end of the second quarter, stuffing the Jags at the goal line. And I think it was maybe a King over Griffin situation. And another thing to be noted here is King and this next guy I'm about to bring up, Kadar Hollman, they both make an impact in special teams. Where Griffin, I don't know if he makes as much of an impact as, Kadar Hollman or Desmond King in punt return, kickoff, kick return. I think those guys, they can step in and be more helpful in the special teams game than Shaq Griffin. And with a backup cornerback or a backup in any position that's a skill position, you have to be versatile. You have to be able to play not only your main position, but help in special teams and other spots around the team. That's why I think Shaq Griffin ended up being released from the team. Play was okay throughout the season, but also these other guys coming on and being able to help in special teams, I think that played a big part. Now, coming up in just a moment, I'm going to be breaking down the Tytus Howard injury update and what that means for this Texans offensive line and this Texans team. But I couldn't do today's video if it wasn't for our show sponsor. It's Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a $100 deposit match. It's as easy as this, folks. You choose 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stat types, and then you place your entry. It's as easy as that. And then I'm rocking with these picks for Thursday night football. Texans play Sunday up against the Broncos. I kind of like to put those picks later in the week, closer to game time, with breaking news like this happening. That's a little bit smarter in my opinion. But these are my Thursday night picks if you're going to be watching Seahawks-Cowboys. I'm going less on Geno Smith pass yards. This Cowboys defense has been playing electric. Deron Bland, maybe one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Tony Pollard, I think he'll find pay dirt, so I'm going more on his pass rush or reception touchdowns. And then the Cowboys kicker, Brandon Aubrey. He's been very quietly good this year. I'm going more on 1.5 field goals made for him. Use my picks or fade my picks. Just do it at Prize Picks. And Prize Picks, they are offering an amazing, amazing deal with our link. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. And they are also offering a reboot policy, the only one in daily fantasy sports. It means if you have a player in football or basketball who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. Once again, PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get started today. PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. Awful, gut-wrenching news this morning. As soon as I woke up, I saw the news come across my Twitter feed. Tytus Howard put on IR, out for the rest of the year after suffering that knee injury against the Jaguars. Everybody go down right now and spam 71 because it has just been a rough year for Tytus Howard. Started the year on injured reserve with a hand injury and now out for the rest of the year, only a couple weeks after coming back. And this Texans offensive line has been playing musical chairs the entire season. I mean, now you finally get Juice Scruggs back. He's your starting left guard now. And now, of course, Tytus Howard out. I mean, this is going to be your Texans offensive line, I guess, for the next couple of weeks, barring any more injury. I'm knocking on any wood that I can see around me because this Texans offensive line can really not take any more injuries this season. I mean, Juice Scruggs, I just mentioned, his first game back up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, he had to step in for Tytus Howard, and now he's going to be manning the left guard position. Michael Dieter, the center, I mean, Juice Scruggs, he played well. That's the silver lining, I guess, is that Juice Scruggs did play well whenever he came in for Tytus Howard. But this O-line has just been the most injured unit, in my opinion, in the entire NFL. Some more good news is that you have Josh Jones, who you traded for before the season, and he's played well at left guard, and he can play tackle as well. So I believe if, God forbid anything happens to Laramie Tunsil, you have Josh Jones, also George Fant manning the right tackle. You have Josh Jones as well. And a little bit more reinforcements coming in for the Houston Texans. Charlie Heck just activated. Now he will be able to come back in, the next couple of weeks, but he'll be a reserve tackle just in case. I don't think we'll see Charlie Heck unless something happens to one of the starting tackles and to Josh Jones. But you have Tytus Howard out for the year. Jarrett Patterson, he's on IR. I think he's out for the year. He had a broken fibula, producer Coop. I don't know if you can't come back from a broken fibula. So he's done for the year. You're really going to be working on these 5 guys right here and really hoping that they can take the next step forward with this team, with Josh Jones being, the plug-and-play guy if you need. That's been all that I have for you here on Texans Today. If you need any more Twitter knowledge around the Houston Texans, the NFL, the dankest memes on the internet, go to Jeremy Chugs. Follow me on Twitter. And once again, I appreciate everybody who's hit that sub button so far. If you haven't already, why not? Go down and hit that sub button. We got daily Texans news and rumors videos, more live shows to come. So go hit that sub button if you truly love the Houston Texans and want to stay up to date.